Good morning. I'm picking up the memory of Sister Mary Elephant. Class. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I am affirming that today my brain is more focused than it was 2 weeks ago. So nice to have everybody here. We start off our service by saying an acknowledgement of the land on which we are located. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today, as we do always. Okay, let's see here. We no longer have a clicker. Marvin is now our human clicker. So Marvin will change the screen when he's able to. No problem. That's where we stretch. Oh, that's pretty.
He does better than you do, Scott.
What was that? What?
He takes prettier pictures than you do.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, well, no, moving forward. Acknowledgement of ancestral lands. Welcome home. Yay! Okay, and we are here. Alrighty, so today we will, as we do every morning, we will start out by saying the top affirmation together, and then you turn to somebody else and say the line at the bottom, and as always, say it with intention and with love. So together we all say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And then turn to somebody else and say, I honor the path that brought you here this morning. Okay, let's take a look at our weekly schedule. This is what's going on this week at the center as it goes on screen. As always, there's a whole lot of stuff, especially on Thursday. But you can check all of this out by, if you are not in our newsletter, please give your email to Angelica, and she will make sure that you're getting in the newsletter. Included within the week is yoga with Kathy Goodman, which is Mondays and Thursdays from 11. Kathy, where are you? Kathy is over there. That's every Monday and Thursday. Kathy, I wanted to put an event for that on the Facebook page. Is this ongoing through the rest of the year, or?
Actually, I just moved into my new studio.
Oh, you just moved into your new studio. Okay. So
it'd be a little while before I'll get clients there.
okay.
But it's been beautiful, and we'll see how long and what the schedule might be.
Okay, so I'll just kind of put up events periodically. And for those Zoomers, incidentally, welcome Zoomers. She was mentioning, Kathy was mentioning that you are getting a new studio, and very excited. And we see it in a beautiful condition and know it's going to be wonderful and profitable for you. Okay, new book for the book circle, which is popping up on screen here. There we go. Observer, that's 10 to 11:30 on Zoom on the second, this coming Tuesday. It'll be the second week on the book. If you want to be involved in it, would they speak to Angelica? If you want to go to it, or just
Sign on to the Zoom.
Okay. Day of Peace Prayer Circle, I believe, is also on Thursday. That's on the 21st, and that will be here at the center at 1 o'clock. Did you wish to say any more about that, or just let the slide speak?
Everybody's invited to come, and we'll pray for peace.
Okay, which is needed. Speaking of which, the class Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life that I will be leading will be starting the first Tuesday of October. It is every Tuesday in October, and I was thinking, I personally, I think a lot of us would probably share this, I'm a little stressed out lately over the condition of the world. Thank you for the sign-up sheet. And it sometimes is overwhelming, and you just feel it, this heaviness. This philosophy when you are able to and willing to use it, can help reset that so that the rest of the world will do what the rest of the world is going to do, and you will be more at peace and more centered and manifest prosperity, better relationships, improved health. And we will be going through that for 5 weeks in October. No textbook is required. I purposely, when given the choice of several classes to teach, I opted for this one because there is no textbook. And nothing against textbooks, but I wanted the, shall we say, barrier to entry to be low, especially for people who are new. It'll be a discussion group. There is a manual, or whatever that you would call it, but there will not be any required reading. It'll be a lot of great discussions. There will be some activities. It'll be interactive, and we will take a look at the philosophy and help prosper and have better relationships and better health. So if you'd like to sign up, it's $170, but nobody is turned away. If you cannot afford it, you can still come to the class because we want you to be there. Sign-up sheet is over here on the table. Please put your name on it. Remember, the class will start the first Tuesday in October. Next year is the 40th anniversary of the Center for Spiritual Living, at least this one. So we're going to celebrate. If you like planning events, Angelica would sure appreciate your assistance. We will have it'll be a party in 2024. We also need a volunteer to do press releases. My wife and I are handling the social media, which is growing. I think she said this morning that the Instagram account is 79 now, and of course when we started it, it was at 0. And our Facebook group, when we started our page, when I started working the page, I think we were at 630, and I think we're approaching 650 people. So we're trying to share what we do. Please like us on Facebook and Instagram, but we need people to do press releases. So if you're interested in doing a press release, again, the person to talk to, as in almost all things, is Angelica, because she doesn't do anything else around here. Marvin will be on vacation. The nerve of you, Marvin, to be leaving on vacation. So we need someone to video our Sunday celebration November 12th. Where are you going, Marvin? Oh, you can't hear? Okay. He has all those headphones on and he can't hear. That's weird. All right, so Marvin will be gone November. Sacramento?
Somewhere near there.
Okay. We need somebody. Marvin will show you how to do this to keep these videos going. Please see Marvin for that. Our bookstore still exists. It's in the other room. We've got some great books, and all books by Joel Goldsmith are 20% off. The little pantry needs to be fed so it can feed our community. Please donate non-perishable goods. On Mondays, Walk in Awe, where I thought I saw her walk in. There in the back, is here, and she can collect bigger amounts and put them out there for you. So all of that out of the way, once a month we take a look at Going Green. I walked in here and I saw all the rolls of toilet paper. I thought they were inappropriately placed, especially next to a chair, so I figure this is all part of Going Green. So Lori, it's up to you.
Good morning. I try to be as irreverent as possible. So today we're going to talk potty talk. And first we're going to start with how you clean your toilet a cleaner, greener way. So, how many of you use those little like Clorox and you squirt it around the bottom of the rim? And that's a lot of plastic, right? So we're going to try to figure out how to do it with less plastic. So I found these at Target. They're called Scrub and Drop. But you don't have to buy their plastic thing that fits on it for you to scrub. So what I do is I drop and scrub. So you drop one of these little pellets in there, let it foam up, and then you use your own. I mean, who doesn't have a toilet scrubber already? So you are minimizing plastic by using this, and it does pretty good. It's by that same, it says Citrus Grove scent. So anyway, but it is a Scotch-Brite brand. And then the other thing I wanted to make sure everybody notices is Angelica sent me this picture from the Sequoia Zoo. So this is more of like an update that more things are being made out of recycled plastic. So apparently all the animals at the Sequoia Zoo are made out of recycled plastic. That was good. That was good.
I saw the monkeys made up of plastic.
I love that, though. That's perfect. So back to the toilet. So remember this stuff?
Yeah,
I stopped using this stuff like in the 90s. Guess what? This thing is biodegradable. So if you really want to get away from plastic, you just go back to the old cleanser stuff, you know? It's got 2 times the bleach. Right? Okay, a little bit more potty talk. I got to talk about the toilet paper. Okay, so it's been a long search for toilet paper that is less invasive to the environment. So a couple of years ago, I started out at the health food stores, and they've got bamboo toilet paper, which, you know, saves trees, but they wrap it in plastic. Okay? And there's another problem. It's like using sandpaper on your tushy. So I started my search for softer bamboo toilet paper, and I'm going to show you a couple, and I've left some here for you to compare yourself, okay? So feel free to take the free, but try to take 2 so you can compare the one in the brown wrapper with the R on it and the other one in the white wrapper.
We suggest you compare them at home.
Well, I tell you, if there's any left over, they're going into the bathroom here, so somebody's going to be trying whether they like it or not. Okay, so the one with the R on it is, I can't remember the name. I think Real. What? Real, yeah. Not the softest and not the most expensive, okay? Yes?
But the wrapping paper on it can also be smooshed out and used again.
Yeah, but the thing that pisses me off is they have to wrap it.
I know.
Why
It
can't-
comes in a box. I bought it yesterday.
I know. So we get the stuff sent to us because you can only get it online, and it comes in a box, and every single one is wrapped in paper. So I'm just a little testy about that.
But
Okay.
it's all 100% recyclable and all 100%.
Of course, of course. And then this one is called Cloud Paper. Cloudpaper.com, I think, is if you want to order it. Now, this is the softest that I have tried. So if you want to do it this way, this is the softest. Yes, ma'am?
They had a bamboo brand on sale at grocery outlet, and I thought it was fine. I didn't notice any difference.
Is it wrapped in paper? Is it wrapped in plastic?
I don't, well, I think it's the 12 pack was, but if you don't see it at grocery outlet, it is at Eureka Natural Foods, and it's like a pale spring green.
What brand is that? What brand?
I don't remember, but it's a pale spring green. It's neither one of
Right.
them.
It
But
could.
other people have mentioned roughness, and I didn't notice it.
Okay. It reminded me of traveling in Europe in 1979 on the trains in Germany. That was sandpaper. Okay. It reminded me of that. So this cloud paper is the softest, but it's the most expensive. I got a box this size. It held 24 rolls. And look at all the marketing they did in there. I'm paying for all of that marketing, green on the inside with all the writing. This is the best stuff. This is the best stuff. $37 for that. $37 for 24 rolls. And they're paying Robert Downey Jr. and other celebrities to advertise it online. So, you know, if you can afford it, great. That's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna put this over here with the free toilet paper, and if you really want to try it, you can use your QR code and take a picture of this and buy it yourself. Yes, Ann?
I just went back to using paper in my kitchen trash can, and get paper bags from the supermarket, and I don't know why I thought I could live without plastic trash can liners, but
Well, what did we do before?
just rinse it out, you know?
Yeah, we used paper grocery bags for years before the plastic ones became so popular.
And wax paper also instead of saran wrap.
Right. So, thanks everybody.
And it comes in a cardboard box. It's
Like this?
Yeah, with just plain old rolls. They're not.
No, wrapped? Oh, thank you, Jesus. And that one's called what? Grow. Okay, cool. I'd say the one with the R on it, the real, is like that. It's somewhere in between. But if you can find one that's not all pre-wrapped and everything. And, you know, one thing that's really been great about doing these green moments is everybody's thinking about it, and that's what it's really about. We are opening the conversation up and communicating about it. So I'm over my time. Thanks.
This edition of Toilet Paper Talk was brought to you by...
There was animals and they were made out of bottles.
Yes, we have that up there, yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Our theme for the month, Love Out Loud. We're going to kind of do a do-si-do here. Karen's going to come up and she's going to lead us in the chant, and then I will be back with the contemplative meditation.
All right, Marvin, if you want to go ahead and put that up on the screen for us. Here we go. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. Scott, where'd you go?
Our theme for the month, as we stated, is Love Out Loud. So for our contemplative meditation, the way this works is I'm going to read something that I found, and then there'll be a moment of silence for us to think about it. Jackson will play us out with some music. I will come back and do a treatment, which for those who might not be familiar with it, is the term that we use in Science of Mind for affirmative prayer. And then after that, Angelica will come up and she will do our talk today. So today's contemplative meditation, I wanted to be in line with our theme, is from the book Conscious Loving, written by Gay Hendricks and Kathleen Hendricks, and it's about commitment. Co-commitment is made possible when two people deal with their sense of responsibility and integrity. Being alive to the full range of your feelings, speaking the truth at the deepest level of which you are capable, and learning to keep agreements, all of these actions are required to master a co-committed relationship. When these three requirements are met, the real intimacy begins to unfold. A co-committed relationship may look like magic, but it really is composed of tiny moments of choice, choosing to tell the truth, noticing that you are projecting and finding the courage to take responsibility, choosing to feel rather than go numb, choosing to communicate about a broken agreement, choosing to support your partner as he or she goes through deep feelings. Ultimately, once these skills are practiced and internalized, the relationship flows effortlessly. Once your nervous system learns to stay at a high level of aliveness and does not need to numb itself by lying, breaking agreements, and hiding feelings, the creativity starts to flow. Say this in the first person so each of us can absorb it. What I know is all there is pure, infinite energy. It ebbs, it flows, it weaves, it moves, it intertwines all of us. It is within us, it is me. That energy is the purest form of love. It comes to me to expand my life, to allow me to live, to appreciate all that is around me, to experience this condition that we call humanity. And for this experience, for this infinite love that comes to me without end and I can pull on as ever I need, I am so grateful and overjoyed because I know that I am not only surrounded in love, I give love and I am love. And I take this love that is me, that is us, that is all of humanity, and release it back out into the infinite universe, knowing it is going forward in a ripple effect and creating more love and more good wherever it goes. And for that, too, I am grateful. I release this into the law of mind, knowing it has already been happening, and all I am doing is recognizing its reality. And I say, and so it is.
You are the light of peace. I am the light of peace. You are the light. I am the light. We are the of
Thank you, Jackson. And now, Reverend Angelica with our message for today.
Thank you. You two did good. Great way to start out. So let me say to you, Lashana Tova. For those of you that have Jewish heritage. And I decided that since it is Rosh Hashana right now, I would use some pieces from that tradition this morning. It's interesting, there doesn't seem to be as many people here today. Is the Arcata North thing still going on? Yeah. Boy, I saw some pictures on Facebook of that festival. It looks like it's great fun. So today we're talking about love thy neighbor. You know, the science of mind points out that everything that happens to us happens for us. And I know that that's sometimes a really hard pill to swallow. And yet, one of the things he also said is that any experience of betrayal, for instance, is really love in action, inspiring us to make a shift in consciousness. Inspiring us to make a shift. What if we did that? What if we approached all the, what we're calling bad or negative experiences in our life as not necessarily so bad or negative, but as, oh, this is a call, a sacred call to move into a new consciousness. Dr. Holmes writes, a constant realization of the presence of spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce. No other attitude could produce. In other words, the presence of the divine is always with us. And when we live consciously, and we're aware that everybody around us is also a divine expression of the one, then we can really appreciate this spiritual life that each one of us has made a choice to walk. You wouldn't be in here if you hadn't somehow made a conscious choice to live a more spiritual life. So that brought me to this idea that, of course, as usual, I have my 3 ideas. So the first one is that old phrase that we've all heard since children, is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. In the classic Jewish text from the earliest centuries of the Common Era, a story is told about the earliest rabbis, Hillel and Shammai. A man approaches each of them with the request to teach the individual all the laws of the Torah while he stands on one foot. Now, what a weird request that would be. Teach me all the aspects of the Torah while I stand like this. I mean, I couldn't do it for very long. So there's a lot more aspects to the Torah than you can imagine. Shammai, who has no patience for this request and clearly feels that if the individual does not have the time to take this learning more seriously, rejects the man and sends him away without any lesson and without any wisdom. Hillel takes a very different reproach. He teaches the man, whatever is despicable to you, do not do to anyone else. All the rest of the Torah is commentary. Now go and learn it. You know, there's lots of, in fact, most of the religious traditions also have that same teaching, and we call it the Golden Rule. And I printed out this piece of paper that has all of these various golden rules on it. So, for instance, Buddhism says, treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. Hinduism says, this is the sum of duty. Do not do to others what would cause pain if done to you. In the Tao, it says, regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain and your neighbor's loss as your own loss. The Sikhs say, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am a good friend to all. In native spirituality, they say, we are as much alive as we keep the earth alive. And there's quite a few other ones, but you get the point, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. My second idea is loving each other means accepting people for exactly the way they are, regardless. And you know, that it can be really difficult, can't it? I mean, if you look at the political climate of today, there's a few people that it's really hard to just accept them exactly as they are. And you probably have some people in your own life that you find it hard to accept them exactly the way they are. And yet, in the book of Leviticus, it says, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your kinfolk. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. You know, Jewish scholars often refer to this section of Leviticus as the holiness code. And in fact, this part of Leviticus is that place that we will, if we read it, we'll find lots of different commandments of how we're supposed to treat each other. To live in relationship with other people means to respect them, to share with them, to protect them, and of course to love them. But one of the things I read it, you know, when I read the Bible, I've read it through the Fillmore's Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, which changes everything. But this phrase, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your kinsfolk, love your neighbor as yourself, is the same thing we've already talked about. But I like that part, I am the Lord. Lord in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary means the law. This is the law. So however we're treating each other, we're going to receive the experiences or the effects of that as well. It made me think about this idea of these people that I have a hard time with in my life. And I suddenly realized the other day that I don't have to agree on every subject in order to love somebody. I can just love them for who they are. I can let go of all of the my judgments, which of course that's what they are, as I'm looking at the TV and listening and perhaps yelling at somebody. I'm judging. But I don't have to agree with what they're saying. I don't have to agree with my family members are saying. But I do have to love them, regardless. You know, when we really allow ourselves to move into loving discussions with each other, this allows for all of us to shift into a higher perspective of life. And it made me start thinking about how many times I've railed at somebody in my life or walked away judging them, you know, that kind of feeling. I know you know that kind of feeling. It's not just me, right? Okay, good. As I'm walking away, if I really thought about this, then and realize that what I'm doing is judging and just let it go, perhaps the whole situation would change. It's amazing what happens in our lives when we let go of, well, what one of my early spiritual teachers called, it was the actress Gloria Manon, who did this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful workshop called Breakthrough Drama. But what she called these things that we're hanging on to so strongly, precious turds. Oh, yeah. Here we are. The toilet paper, yeah. So I guess a lot more potty talk is going on than... So this means then, if I need to let go of my judgments, my opinions, my sacred opinions, my precious turds about other people, I need to practice forgiveness. So forgiveness is part of the allowing of a deeper sense of love to come into our lives. If I'm constantly walking around with judgment, that means that I'm going to keep throwing out that energy, which the universe then goes, oh, you like that? Here, have some more. I mean, remember, our two tenets are, all there is God, and it's done unto us as we believe. So if I believe that I'm being caused harm or whatever by somebody else's actions or conversations, somebody that doesn't even know who I am sometimes, then that just brings more of that energy for me to deal with. So practicing forgiveness then and moving into an experience of love then would bring me more love. So one of the things that people often say when I'm talking about forgiveness in class is, well, I can't forget the experience. And no, you can't. I mean, I still remember the abuse that I got at the hands of my mother, but I was able to forgive her. And one of the things that I did was, years ago, I discovered this forgiveness process, which was writing down 70 times for 70 days. For 7 days. 70 would be a long time. 70 times for 7 days, I forgive my mother. Well, because I can't even follow a recipe correctly without adding something, I had to add something to this practice. And so I sat down at I used to have this old Royal typewriter. It was just so amazing. I loved it. Very old. But the key bounce was just wonderful. So I forgive my mother for, and whatever came up, I would write down. And so I didn't write just the same sentence every day for 70 times. I wrote down whatever would come up. And, you know, as the days went by, I started repeating and repeating and repeating everything, but that doesn't even matter. But what I do know was that as I did this process, I started to feel lighter in my body. It was like I could think of my mother without this, you know, this clenching of my butt muscles and my stomach muscles and my jaw. I could think of her just as somebody who was going through her own stuff. And not long after I finished that process, I was down in San Diego visiting my sister and my little brother, and our mother came to the door. And I took one look at her and I thought, uh-oh, because that's always what it had been before. Seeing her always brought up fear. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute, I'm an adult. I haven't lived at home for eons. You know, I'm in my sister's condo. And so she comes in and I think she had sort of the same feeling when she saw me, was, uh-oh, you know, what's going to come about here? But we were able to sit down, and my sister poured all of us a drink, which helped. And then we were able to just have regular conversation without that feeling in my body. That's what I noticed, is that except for that momentary bit of tension right at the beginning of seeing her, it was gone. And I thought, wow, this stuff really works. It really works. There's another one that when I was living in Hawaii, I learned, and people talked about it being an ancient Hawaiian practice, and wasn't an ancient Hawaiian practice. It was something created, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but by a man who worked at a psychiatric hospital who realized that if he did forgiveness for these people that he was working with, that things could change. And so the Ho'oponopono experience, in fact, first let me tell you that Ho'oponopono means, Ho'o means to be the cause of, Pono means right, and then another, so it's to be the cause of making the right right. That's what forgiveness is. And so the mantra is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And that can be very powerful in itself. Very powerful. In fact, when I was studying with my Hawaiian mama, she said because when the man first came out with this, and it was in a book, many of the older Hawaiian people were a little upset about it. And she told me that what they used to do, what was the normal thing for the Hawaiians to do, was that when somebody did something wrong in their community, they sat that person in the middle of a circle, and they all sat around that person and loved that person. They told that person how much they valued them, how much they meant in their lives, how much their being in the community meant, which is sort of like, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Not quite, but sort of. So this week I'm going to invite you to find out if there's anything in your life that needs to be released, particularly resentments. And then just let yourself let it go. And you can use that 70 times 7 forgiveness process. You could use the Ho'oponopono process, and I'm sure there's lots of other processes out there for forgiveness that you could use. But it's time for us, who I believe are the vanguard of this whole new consciousness that's coming into the world, to let go of everything that no longer serves us. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm doing really good. I remember, I've mentioned this before, driving to Palm Springs one day with a friend, and she started talking about mothers, and I started feeling those feelings coming back in my body, even though I had already done my forgiveness work, etc., and realized, oh, well, I did the forgiveness work on the level that I could at the time. And it made me open up to realize that there are multiple levels of everything we do. There's multiple levels of forgiveness. There's multiple levels of being able to accept love. So what we want to do is let go of the old and open up to this idea of love. Dr. Holmes says in The Science of Mind, think of the whole world as your friend, but you must also be the friend of the whole world. How can we do that? You definitely start right where you are. Perhaps where you might start is with your own family, whether it's physical family or family of choice. And think about, what am I holding on to here that I don't need to hold on to anymore? How could I better love? Dr. Holmes also says in The Science of Mind, without love, nothing can be accomplished. With love, all things are possible. And we are love. So our prayers are answered and the gift of heaven is made. When we love, our prayers are answered and the gifts of heaven are made. So I don't know what you would consider to be the gifts of heaven, but I feel like we live in heaven in a way. Whenever I walk into my yard, like finally my roses are blooming like crazy, and my kahili ginger that Michelle gave me, which is, massively present in Hawaii, has finally got flower stalks on it. And I walk into my yard and it's like French perfume on this side and Hawaiian perfume on that side. And it's heaven. It's wonderful. Or I drive down Boone to come to the center, and on good days you could see the ocean down there. And that's heaven. Heaven is what we make, what we design, what we embody with love. With love. So again, I'm going to say that the Science of Mind points out that everything that happens to us happens through us. And so it's really important for us to pay attention to any experience of supposed betrayal, etc. Dr. Holmes also wrote, a constant realization of the presence of spirit will provide a sense of divine companionship that no other attitude could produce. Think about that for a minute. A sense of divine companionship. The presence is always with us. It is us, so it can't not always be with us. And not only do we need to open up to that idea more, but we need to open up to the idea that the presence is in everything. I think I mentioned to you one day that I had this realization that I was working on a situation and I was not able to bring what I needed to my conscious mind the way I wanted to. And as I was walking into my house, I had this image in my mind of the Jewish people that have a little box by their door, and in that is a part of the Talmud, and they don't go into the house without touching that, or go out of the house without touching that. And as that came to my mind, I started to think, this house is God too. If God is everything, then God is this home that I'm living in. And so I walked in and I touched the wall, touched the lintel of the door, acknowledging the divine. And as I walked through, I was heading toward the bathroom, more potty talk. As I walked in, I touched the various things in my living room, the couch, the lamp, the lintel of my bedroom door, the lintel of the bathroom door, etc., and realized all of this is God, built around me to give me a sense of safety, to give me a sense of home. What could be more loving than that? It was amazing to me, and the thing that I got, the answer that I got for what I needed was, there isn't anywhere, or as in religious science we say, there's no spot where God is not. There isn't. It's all one. So as we think about this idea of loving our neighbor, we have to remember that too is God. They too are God. Everything is divine. So let's see our affirmation for today. I see myself in others and them in me and spirit in all of us. In this way, acceptance and blessing become as simple and as inevitable as breathing. Oh, Les, that was a great way to end this talk. Good affirmation. Let's treat. How wonderful it is to be able to remember that there is only that one divine energy that is the source and substance of absolutely everything, including us. It is the source and substance of all the things in our lives, all the people in our lives, all the things that we see out there. It's all one, that great oneness. So what I know as well is that this oneness is infinitely intelligent and unconditionally loving. And so I start with myself by opening up my heart to experience more love. I recognize that I am the beloved in whom God is well pleased. And as I open myself up, I am able to give this love out into my world. And I choose now, from this moment on, to do so unconditionally. I love as God loves. I let go. I drop my old judgments, my opinions, those things that are no longer serving me, except keeping me tight inside. And as I let go, I feel the freedom of being in love, as being loving. And how wonderful, wonderful this is. And so I celebrate all of us today, knowing that each one of us is on this spiritual adventure called life together, knowing that love is the greatest healing agent in the universe. And so I know for anyone that is experiencing any kind of dis-ease, be it physical, emotional, mental, that this love that we're radiating right now is moving, almost see it like across the surface of a pond or a lake, causing ripples that go out into unknown places. Because we're allowing ourselves to be divinely loved, we can divinely love, and we can send that love out everywhere. And we remember, again, love is the greatest healing agent there is. And so I'm so grateful to remember this, grateful to know that each of us is walking in an atmosphere of love. Each one of us is spreading out healing energy. Each one of us is expressing and experiencing love in a way that possibly we've never known before. And it is good. It is God. So I release these words into the divine law, knowing that they are already so, and so it is. Our gift of music this morning is with Donna and Jackson.
She reminds me how many years Brian and I too, but Jackson and I have been stepping up to the microphone and the piano, and thank you, Jackson. This is called Love Song. Leslie Duncan wrote this song. I have to say may well be simple, but they're true. Until you give your love, there's nothing more that we can do. Love is the opening door. Love's what we came here for. No one could offer you more. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? You say it's very hard to leave behind the life we knew. But there's no other way. It's all up to you. Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Love is the key we must turn. Truth is the flame we must burn. Freedom the lesson we must learn. Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen? Do you know what I mean? Have your eyes really seen?
That was absolutely lovely. Thank you. Yeah. That's Elton John, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's move forward and.
Started by that Australian trio, Olivia Newton-John.
Thank you, Jackson. All right, we're going to move forward with the offering of our gifts. The plate is going to pass around. Please put in it what you can. And as always, if you can't, just add love into it. Even if you can put money in, add it with love. We will start out by saying our affirmation together. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses the sinner, all in it and beyond, and so it is, and here's where you can send checks. So if we could have some music, and the plates will go around. How long can you hold that note? Please come forward. Please. We accept these gifts knowing that they are going to go into our center, into the community, and out beyond, spreading the love that each of us is in infinite levels wherever it may go, and we are so grateful for what this will do. And for that, we say, and so it is. Okay, as we get to the end of our service, I'm going to want somebody to do our community statement of inclusion, but before we get there, a reminder that if you need help, if you would like to talk to somebody, if you would like to share, if you would like some confidence, if you would just, if you're in a tough place or just need to talk, there are practitioners that are available for you at the end of every service. We call it the 5-minute miracle, and you can find any one of us. I'm one, Edward is one, Les is one. I don't know if you are right now wanting to take and talk to people. Claudia, where Susan is around here, Karen is here. So if you would like some help, please come forward and we'd be glad to talk to you in private, in confidence. The other thing we like to do is talk about some demonstrations. Get a couple of people who have had demonstrations. A demonstration is a manifestation of something that you have wanted, something that came to you because of the way you expected. I've just got to run a fun short one. We have been trying to replace the roof on our house since back before when we lived in caves. It has literally been a 20-year project that has been amplified for this last year and has been one setback after another, after another, after another. And on Saturday, yesterday, it was supposed to finally be finished. We have one of these, they're called torch-down roofs. Don't ever get a flat roof. But so they came out to finally put the torch down, and he shows up, just kind of stands there for a bit, and then he says, I can't do it. And I go, why? He goes, there's mist. There's mist in the air. We can't do torch down when there's mist in the air because it just creates steam. And I go, oh no, because my wife and I are like exhausted with this already. So I go, well, what does that mean? He goes, well, we have to wait till it either goes away. And I said, okay, well, if it doesn't go away, can you come back Monday? He goes, no, we're booked for the next several weeks. And we don't have a roof right now while it's been open. So he goes, the only thing that we could do is if we were able to somehow find one of those pop-up tents like they have at crafts fairs. We could put it over the roof, we can get it up there, and we can do one part at a time and then move into another part at a time. He goes, but it's going to take me some time to find that. My wife, who is an artist, who has worked in many, many craft fairs, decided to sell hers a couple of weeks ago. Nobody bought. So I said, it just so happens we have one of those. He goes, you're kidding. I said, no, I'm not. And my wife said, let's go get it. They lugged it up on the roof. They put it over the roof. We could actually have a little craft fair on our roof if we wanted. And he was able to finish our roof. The long national nightmare of our roof came to an end because of an unsold pop top or pop tent. No, I'll take it as thank you for it not selling. And now we will be able to hopefully sell it. So that's a simple little demonstration. Is there anybody else who would like to share a brief demonstration?
I have something.
Please come forward, Shelley.
So, I'll start, 'cause I know where everybody wants to go. I do
Come up to the mic so people can hear you, please.
I talk really loud.
It's okay. We want the Zoomers to be able to hear you, too.
So I put on a plant sale for the garden club, and I'm always collecting free things. And one day there's all these big pots, and I call my husband and bring the truck, and we load all these pots onto the truck, and then it sits in my yard for almost a year, maybe 2 years if I get around to it, to move them out for the sale. And in the pot is this weird piece of metal, which I figure is a digging tool, and I'm using it to pull the dirt out of the pot. And one day it flipped over, and what it said on the other side is, "Thank you, universe, for the abundance you constantly give us." I had no idea that that was my digging tool.
Do I have time for one more if anybody wants to give one? Otherwise, we'll move to the community statement of inclusion. All right, let's do who would like to come up and read our community statement of inclusion? Then Donna will close us out with our song. Anna, are you going to come do this for us?
Stand up. Oh, it's sitting. Why can't we just stand up when we feel like it while this is all going on?
You can.
Why should we always stiffen all? We the Center, Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. Let's have one. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of life and God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understands that oneness is not sameness. We know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Thank you for having me up. Oh my goodness, I'm part of a group hug. Okay, I will let this song go to you. Move out of the way.
We're all one.
I have a big finger for giants, and it says one, and I carry it around the neighborhood sometimes. Please stand and join me in singing "I Love Myself the Way I Am." I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me,
Anyway, I forgot an announcement that I was going to make during the announcements, but then I couldn't remember it. So, but it came to me. October 4th, which is a Wednesday, instead of doing our sacred healing service, Karen and I are going to be at Sequoia Park doing an animal blessing. It happens to be the feast of St. Francis, and I've always wanted to do an animal blessing. So if you're going to bring your animals, if you bring cats, they have to be in cages. You certainly don't want them running off into the forest. Or, you know, your dogs have to be on a leash or whatever. And if you have goldfish, for instance, bring a photograph, right? Just, you know, or cats, bring a photograph. So remember, and you'll have a slide for it next week as well, October 4th, we're doing an animal blessing in Sequoia Park. I don't know, we haven't decided on time. 6, I think, right? 6. Still light at 6. And I'm getting hand signals from Edward that Amy made spaghetti. So go off into the social hall and have a meal.